members of the diplomatic corps, my students. I think I can see their faces here, although I hope they are not here because they're my students. When I was listening to the commentaries as well as the messages from the speakers, I was pinching myself because usually you hear these words during meteorological services. And I'm glad I'm still alive. So if you want to experience what I have just been experiencing, you publish a book. And of course, former Congresswoman Eta Rosales, I almost forgot her. No? One indication, I think, of the growing interest regarding the issues that I have tackled in this book, especially the issue of visiting forces agreement, is the fact that only a few days ago, when faculty members of the Marawi State University, MSU in Marawi, and the MSU in Iligan, IIT, found out that I was launching a book, they decided to organize a forum as well as book launching this Monday and Tuesday in Marawi City, as well as Iligan. So I will be going there this November 23 and 25 for a symposium that the faculty organized on this issue, and there will also be a book launching. My friends, intellectual production as a form of social action is always a collective process. No book is really authored by a single individual, no matter whose name appears on the cover. It is impossible here to list all those people who contributed in a myriad of ways, ranging from intellectual interaction, critical insights, and scholarly interest, to personal encouragement, cajoling, and book production to make the production and publication of this book possible. During the years that the chapters of this book were in the making, I incurred many pleasant debts to people, institutions, and organizations that lent me their help and support, offering invaluable assistance. This book, my friends, is really a collective product of many, many minds. My interactions with my UP colleagues, with fellow advocates in the struggle for sovereignty and social change, germinated and gelled into the ideas that you will find in these pages. There are also my students who asked seemingly endless streams of thoughtful questions. My thanks also to the University of the Philippines, where I have taught since 1981, for allowing me to work in this cradle of nationalism and free thought, and its laboratories of dissent and liberating consciousness. I am particularly grateful to UP because I benefited from the opportunity to try out my ideas in the lectures that I gave in its classrooms. But among several other venues for such lectures were the audiences in other universities, both here and abroad, civic and professional organizations, even local governments. The first order of thanks, however, is to the late Senators Lorenzo Tañada and Jose W. Jokto, with whom I had the opportunity to work in the anti-bases and anti-nuclear movements during the dark days of the Marcos dictatorship. Their solid friendship and mentoring provided me with a first-hand view of nationalist statesmanship. But the real life vida or heroes in this book, as shown in some of its pages and chapters, are the former Senators Bobby Tañada, palakpakan po natin, and former Vice President Tito Pingona, who, with the magnificent 12 senators in 1991, led to the closure of the United States' largest overseas naval and air force bases in the world. I have also discussed in a lengthy chapter the late Dr. Boone Shermer, who personified genuine Philippine-American friendship and solidarity. May I thank the publisher, Ibon Foundation, for its efforts in printing this book, and to those who gave their advance commentaries to this book. I thank you all. And of course, to our young artist, Mr. Jordan Santos, who agreed to do the cover design and the beautiful layout of the pages that you will find in the book. Why did I write and put together this book? This book attempts to explore the challenges facing the constitutional aspiration for an independent Philippine foreign policy. And let me emphasize the term constitutional aspiration. It tries to link the restoration of foreign military presence through the 1999 Visiting Forces Agreement, or VFA, and the debasement of the national economy through the neoliberal programs of economic liberalization, deregulation, and privatization. I have explored through these essays and lectures the following themes as imperatives, namely self-determination in military and security policies, economic nationalism, political will of the national leadership, and beyond that, even cultural liberation. My friends, I was almost tempted to give this book another title, the title Grassroots Foreign Policy Activism. After all, this book is really about grassroots foreign policy activism and the engagement of people's organizations to make the state a relevant vehicle for nationhood and international policy. For sustained mass nationalism of enlightened and organized Filipinos is the key to forging a nationalist foreign policy and a restructured